Welcome to Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast. This is Bruce Hutchin, host and executive producer. Each week you will hear tips, techniques, strategies, and personal stories from some of the best and funniest whitetail hunters in North America. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you do, tell a friend on social media. If not, tell me and I'll make it better. Thanks for listening, folks. Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast 389. We're heading to outside Madison, Wisconsin, actually between Madison and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we're going to connect with Tyler Mieden. Now, Tyler's on pro staff for Alps Outdoors, field staff for Dark Energy Field Staff, and he is the founder of Timber Valley Outdoors. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bruce. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're welcome. And in the warm-up, we talked about a lot of different things, but, I wanted to just start off with Timber Valley Outdoors. What's that about? What you're trying to accomplish, and who else is involved with you?
Sure. So I have three business partners with me. It's my brother, my brother-in-law, and a good friend of mine. And I kind of came up with the idea they wanted to jump on board and created Timber Valley Outdoors. Really just launched at the end of March here, so we're really new. But the whole purpose is really just to promote the outdoors. Find what gets you outside. Is it whitetail hunting? Is it fishing? Is it just even hiking for whoever it might be? We want to promote that. In today's world that's filled with technology, filled with distractions. We want to hopefully motivate people to get outside, breathe in the fresh air, take in the sights and smells of nature and all that God has created. It's a beautiful place. You just got to go out and explore it, and that's what we're all about. We're using social media to really share our adventures. We have a large focus on whitetail deer hunting, obviously, but there's other stuff in there if you like upland bird hunting. There's plenty of fishing stuff over the summer here in Wisconsin. So I would, just have people, if you're curious, just go ahead and check out the Facebook page, check out the Instagram page, at Timber Valley Outdoors. If you need to get a hold of me, or a hold of us, timbervalleyoutdoors@gmail.com is the best way to do it. But we got a lot of things in the works. We're really excited with where we're at so far. And, hopefully people will go ahead and check us out and, give us a follow.
So, folks, something new, something different, and we all have passions. 2 years ago, Whitetail Rendezvous doesn't exist, and now it does. And, by the way, I got to give a plug out. Today is April 11th, 2017, and we surpassed 130,000 downloads. So to every single guest and every single listener of Whitetail Rendezvous, thank you. So when you talk about getting people outdoors, why do you think devices, the digital world, has taken over our lives? I'm on the phone, on social media all the time. I'm looking at your website right now. So is that a good thing, a bad thing, or how do we deal with
it? Those are good questions, Bruce. Why has it taken over? I think, social media, technology, it's easy, it's quick. It doesn't require a lot of effort. It's instant gratification. You see a lot of people today, that are, dialed into their phones 24/7 and like I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on it all the time. And, hopefully if, we can get people outside, we can, just separate them a little bit and hopefully get some balance. I think it's okay to, be on social media, be up to date on technology. I want to listen to your podcast, and I need technology to do that, but you got to have balance in your life. And hopefully we can inspire people to find some balance and to get outside.
So what do you tell kids? You run into somebody, a friend of yours, family member, and say, why don't you come catch some bullheads, catch some bass, go, throw some plugs for muskies, or, hey, let's go see if we can get some rough grouse. I mean, how do you do that so it makes sense and they want to come and play?
You got to make it fun for them. I think you have to have a passion. You got to be excited about it. If you're excited about it, at least, usually I can get the people around me to be excited about it. And, fishing is usually the easiest thing to jump on, or, hunting's a little bit more difficult. You need a little bit more gear. Generally, I have enough gear. If someone wants to tag along for the first time, hunting or fishing, but it's got to be the right situation. So you got to know the people and know a little bit about them. But, I'm always looking to help people, get inspired to be outdoors and, help introduce them to hunting or fishing or whatever it might be if I can.
Now, when you meet somebody and they ask you, why do you hunt? Why do you like the outdoors so much? What do you tell them?
I tell them that, nature itself, hunting whitetails is one of my go-to places. But, just being out in nature, it allows me to decompress. It's a huge stress reliever. And it does allow me to disconnect, from technology a bit. But I love the thrill of the chase. It's not about the kill for me. It's all about the thrill of the chase. All the time you put in, deer hunting and all the preparation that goes into it. The persistence when that pays off, it's just a great, great feeling knowing that, you put all this time, all this hard work, and, this is your reward and it's something to be proud of. And it's, hopefully that passion shines through, that I have when I'm describing that to others.
Think about that, and I can think, well, he's passionate, but why should I be? And I might be putting you on the spot, but I think it's important that we have our 10-second elevator pitch, if you will, to say, hey, this is why I do what I do, and I really love it because of X. How would you finish that sentence?
That's a really tough question. Let's see. My elevator pitch would be, I love being outdoors. This is, I guess I've never condensed it down that far. Usually I give a long rambling answer. I love hunting and fishing because I love to be outside, and to be active and to breathe in fresh air and to take in all that the earth has to offer.
All right. And fair enough. Hey, let's switch it up and talk about small acreage deer hunting. In the warm up, you shared that with me. We got some other things to talk about, but right now let's just stick on that and share with the folks how you do it, because you said you hunt small parcel hunting is your go-to technique. So let's talk about it.
Sure. Yeah. So I hunt on a 20-acre piece of property in an area that it does have quite a bit of hunting pressure. And it's, a lot of it is, right time, right place. And, that means putting a lot of time in the stand, but you got to have the right setup. You gotta know your stuff because you might only get one opportunity. And it can be tough. A lot of the bucks that we have on camera there are, mostly nocturnal, except when you get around that magical period, known as the rut, and then they start to show themselves during the day. If you're not there, you might miss that one opportunity when they're passing through, 15 yards away, broadside at your go-to stand. So it's a lot of time. I put in the time in the off season, making sure my bow's tuned up, making sure I know all my yardage markers at the various stands we have set up. We put in a little food plot the last couple of years. I mean, it's not much, but it's something to keep drawing the deer, back onto the property, and they do cross it, rather frequently. But, a lot of time, having the right preparation, being organized, and just being persistent.
So where is this property located? General, I want to know the county road that's off of, but what part of Wisconsin is it in?
So it would be described as the southeastern part of the state. So if you're a golf fan, the U.S. Open this year is going to be at Erin Hills Golf Course. And it's within probably 10 miles of that golf course.
Family land that just been around in the family. Do you lease it, or?
It's so I'm lucky enough to have married a woman whose parents own 19 acres of land, and who are gracious enough to let me hunt it on a yearly basis. So I lucked out with that for sure.
Now, tell me, the physical, is it a pinch point? Is it a funnel? It's between, a factory or houses or, tell me the setup.
There are some houses. There are some houses or a little neighborhood close by to it. It's generally a travel corridor. There are a couple areas that the deer bed down consistently on it, but it's generally a travel corridor, for the deer.
So you got ag. So there's some ag around it because they got to eat, right?
Yep. There's ag, not directly up, but that bumps up to it, but, within a half mile, there's water close by to it as well. And it's, like I said, it's a travel corridor. It's kind of a pinch point. But yet, the deer still find a way to sneak around me from time to time too.
Now, how many stands do you have on that parcel?
I want to say 3, 4, 5.
And you have that many because?
There's certain, areas that they'll move through, and it seems to change on a year-to-year basis. So I just want to have all the options out there, depending on where they're moving, what time of year it is. We have a couple of them that are real good early in the year for seeing deer, early in the season. And then, as the leaves start to fall, they'll tend to move through a different part of the land.
Now, have you done any hinge cutting, or timber falling to change, the deer's path or pattern so they'll come by your stands?
So we have not done, any hinge cutting or anything like that. We have cleared some paths, to hopefully encourage the deer to, use these open areas instead of cutting through the thickest brush possible. But it isn't my land, and my father-in-law, is a big proponent of having a healthy woods. So I'm at his mercy as far as what we can do, with, hinge cutting or any type of those type of techniques.
For plots.
That's something that we put in a couple of years ago, and we're definitely doing this year as well. We're going to put some pods in here in the spring, and then in the fall we'll plant something that's a little bit hardier, and that should last till it gets to about 10 degrees, and hopefully keep the deer coming back through as consistently and as much as possible.
Now, do you bait on the property?
We do not bait, no.
If it's legal. Is it legal down in that county?
No, it's not.
Okay. In some places, Wisconsin it is, and some places it's not. So.
Correct. Yeah, we've had CWD certainly had a big impact on deer hunting in Wisconsin. So for most of the southern part of the state, you can't bait.
So when you think about, you're 20, and how many people also hunt that?
It's just myself and my brother-in-law that hunt it. Generally, we usually alternate on who's hunting when, and we don't overlap with days. We want to give the other person their space and their opportunity without putting another potentially smelly human out in the woods for the deer to smell and just avoid the area.
So tell me, the wind plays a big factor. What stand you're going to use? The time of year determines what stand you're going to use. So how do you get your stand as quiet as possible in the morning, or how do you get out and not bump deer?
That's a great question, and that's the tricky part, especially the getting out. Getting in, I mean, we know the stand set up where we have them really well, and getting in as quietly as possible. We know the paths. The paths are pretty well cut or pretty well worn down, so it's easy to take your time, especially if you're on time. If I'm on time and showing up, I give myself lots of time to get out to my stand so I can be as quiet as possible. Get up there. Getting out can be trickier, just for the simple fact that that's the prime time for deer movement. I'm trying to get out as quickly as possible, and sometimes the deer will sneak up on you as you're trying to crawl out of the woods. But having a knowledge, being prepared, knowing where you're at, what path you're going to take is really the key for us.
Yeah, because I'm sure you never heard.
A few too many times already.
Yeah, and that's what does do when they don't bark and they don't growl. They just expend a lot of air, and everybody knows what's going on because they're out of there.
That is true. Yeah.
I had to throw that. I had to throw that in.
That's okay. I've experienced that. Yeah. Like I said, too many times already. Too many times last season.
Well,
yeah.
What class of bucks, or I should say, what age class of bucks, not Boone and Crockett points, but which age class of bucks are you seeing most of the time?
So 3.5 and 4.5. I see a lot. We see a lot of 2.5 and 1.5 year olds. If a deer gets to 4.5, I'm really, really excited about that. And we're very selective with the deer that we decide to target. So we're looking for something that's, hopefully 4.5, sometimes 3.5.
Thank you for that. And I read something from QGMA that our state, Wisconsin, which I hunt extensively, is seeing an increase in mature bucks by 1.5, 2.5. They're not getting killed as much, so now we're taking out 3.5, 4.5-year-old deer, and a 150 4.5-year-old deer is hard to let walk. I mean, it really is. And
it is, and it.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I hunt in a high pressure area, and I don't know how many deer we have on camera that have made it past 4.5 years old. I can't think of any the last couple of years.
Why? Because they're probably pretty healthy deer. I mean, body wise, they're big deer and they're well fed, and winters they can get around them. It's not like being up north and getting chased by wolves through the snow and stuff like that and getting stressed because the deer in your area, I mean, some of the places I've been, I mean, I see them in people's yards eating their pansies or whatever. Yes or no? Or
yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I would agree. They're definitely big and they're healthy. I can send you some trail cam pictures if you'd like after the show.
Yeah, I'd love to, I'd love to see them. And we talked about the three things about whitetail hunting. So let's go through those and we'll see where we get to. So let's talk about preparation. Why did you say preparation is important to you?
So I will preface this with preparation has become a really important part of hunting for me since I've taken up bow hunting. And I'm took up bow hunting within the last 5 years. And what I've learned is that really you have to be prepared. You need to have all your necessary gear. You have to have your scent control ready to go. If you're not prepared, you're just doomed to fail. If you don't have, I mentioned scent control just a minute ago. If you don't have your clothes, whatever your technique is, if you don't have them outside airing them out, if you don't have them in your scent lock bag, you're in trouble. The deer's nose is extremely strong and, you need all the help you can get to avoid it. And that's why, preparation is huge. It's so vitally important, to being successful when you're out in the woods.
Okay. Take one thing of preparation and expand that and talk, a few minutes on that. The one thing that you want to make sure you're prepared to do before you go afield.
It's scent control for me. That's the big thing. I'm a big proponent of letting my clothes air out and then having them in the scent lock bag after they're done airing out. And if that's not done, I feel like that I'm wasting my time out in the woods. Because even with that, the deer can still they get downwind. You can still get a hint to you from time to time. And it's when you have to get so close to the deer when you're bow hunting, that is the most crucial thing from my experiences.
Let's move on to persistence. What does that mean to you?
So, if you're a hunter, you need to be prepared to put long hours in the woods. You need to, put a lot of time and effort in. You need to keep coming back because sometimes even when everything lines up, you can just be unlucky, and you gotta be resilient. You gotta keep coming back for more. I can share my first year bow hunting. I had everything set up correctly. I had a very large 8-point buck, approaching me. Wind was in my face. He was coming directly at me. I had a couple of does off to my right, chomping on acorns, at about 20 yards. And I was set up perfectly. I was ready to go. He got to 30 yards, and it's like his sixth sense kicked in. He just knew something was up. He didn't know what it was. He looked around. He needed to take 3 more steps to step into my 25-yard shooting lane that I had set up. And he put his head down, took 1 step, put his head back up, looked around, and just turned around and trotted away. And I don't know what it was. The wind was still in my face. Those doe stayed off to my right for, I don't know, 20 or 25 more minutes. And the wind didn't change directions. I don't know what it was. And that still mystifies me. It's still something I think about to this day about what exactly happened there. And I was demoralized. I was beaten down from that experience. I thought I had everything set up just right, and it didn't work out. And I had to get up, the next day and keep coming back out. And then the next year and the year after that, and just keep coming back until last year when I was finally able to put down my first buck with a bow. And that's persistence. You got to keep coming back at it, and keep putting in those long hours in the stands. Sit out there all day if you can, and it'll pay off for you.
Okay, let's talk about that buck while he hung up. Did you look him in the eyes?
I did not, no.
So you never looked at his eyes at all. So he never could catch predator and prey.
He did not spot me, if that's what you're going at.
No, not that he spotted you, but that you looked in his eyes. You looked right at his eyes, and his eyes saw you. Not in any sense of the word, because you're in camo, the wind's in your face, but it's just that transfer of predator and prey.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it was. I know that my eyes were glued on him.
You were drilling him. Were you drilling him with your eyes?
I think I was.
Honest, come on, honest.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Predator and prey.
I was. Yeah. Yep.
That's what wind's in your face. You get your scent on. There's does at rest eating acorns within how many yards?
25 yards.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Watch him come
Definitely
in.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, and just I'm guilty of it. Oh my goodness, look at the rack on that. Look at whatever. And I start breathing fast, and then I drill him. I mean, I'm just locked on him, and they'll turn around and walk away because they flat out know it's predator and prey, and that's how they stay alive, because they knew something was wrong because they felt it. They didn't see you, but they knew you were looking at him. He knew that. And so, so when you see him coming in 30, 40 yards, you go, oh, okay. Get up, set up. You're ready to go. Just pick a spot behind his shoulder, and don't even just watch that, and just know he has to get to, and then, figure it out. But and hey folks, if you got any suggestions, you can reach me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn, or just send me an email to whitetailrendezvous@gmail.com and tell me I'm full of it, or tell me, well, maybe we should talk about that. That'd be a good show to have. So if anybody's out there that's got some, empirical, specific, detailed, scientific information, I'd love to hear it. So, organization, what does that mean? That I got my stuff together, or, I just talk to me about that, and then we're going to wrap the show because we're getting there.
Sure. So, this really plays on my meticulous side, because organization is different from preparation in my mind. And organization is about having your stuff organized so that it's quick and easy. So when I drive to the land that I hunt, my bag needs to be set up where the first piece of clothing that I'm putting on is on top. And then as I layer up, depending on how cold it is outside, those other layers are toward the bottom there. It's having things quick and easy, ready to access, making sure that my hunting pack is full and packed the way that I need it to, with the way that I want it, so that when I get into my stand, I can get set up. I can pull out my rangefinders right there on top. My antlers are there and easy to access for rattling. Whatever other tools that you have and you use for your hunting, making sure that is set up and easy to access and organized in a way so it's easy for you to grab what you need when you need to. Some people probably are way more successful at deer hunting than I am, and they may not be as meticulous, but for me, that's something that I need to be. Makes me efficient, and it makes things a lot less stressful when you're trying to get out to the stand, 30, 45 minutes before shooting hours, and you can sneak in quietly and take your time and not spook anything on your way in.
You said preparation, organization, persistent. See, I take all that, wrap it up, and put it into, it gives you confidence that you're ready to go. A lot of things have happened in the woods, a lot of things, but you've done everything that you can up to this point in time with all your knowledge base and everything, that you've got everything ready to go. So at that point in time, that's as good as you can get it. And so you're confident. I love it. I really do. I like how that comes together, because we all need confidence. And a lot of people will say, well, I've been hunting forever and, it is what it is. And I'm going, okay. But if you're confident, that gives you an edge, I think. I really do. Your thoughts?
I would agree. I think that's a great way to put a bow on it. Because being prepared, being organized, being persistent, and if I have those things, then I am confident in the woods, and then I'm ready to handle, whatever's going to happen that day. Well said, Bruce.
So 2016 is history. 2017, 5 things you're going to do differently to close the door on Mr. Wonderful this coming fall.
So we're working on improving our food plots. I'm going to spend more time honing in my bow, so I'm even more confident with it. I have a new rangefinder that is going to enable me to make sure that I'm fine-tuned in the woods, and I know exactly the exact distances of all of my shooting lanes, where the deer are, how far they're going to be, so I can feel confident when I'm taking the shots. The last 2 things, I am going to get some new camo. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get yet. If you have any suggestions, though, feel free to let me know, Bruce.
Sure. Treason Camo. www.treasoncamo.com and go to Treason Tribe. It's a secret group. But anyway, just go to Treason Camo. Cobb Sanders, a personal friend of mine, owns it. Tina Kane, Mike Pierce, Mike Murphy, a whole crew of guys. I like it because it's different, that's why I like Treason Camo. It's warm, it's functional. I wore it sheep hunting. It wasn't quite the correct alpine camo. It wasn't Sitka or Kuyu, but it didn't matter. I wanted to see how it would stand the rigors of the mountains, and it did it really well. I also wear scent blocker. I've got bins of scent blocker, and I just like their stuff. And so those are my 2 shout outs, and good people, great companies. Those 2. There's a lot of good companies out there, but those are 2 of my favorite.
Excellent. Yeah, I've heard of Treason, but I'll give them a more in-depth look here as I get ready for the 2017 hunting season.
Well, they'd appreciate that. Next time I see them at ATA or whatever, maybe they'll buy me a beer, right?
I hope so.
Well, you never know. And I'll throw this in because my good friends at GoHunt.com and Insider, a good friend. You ever going to hunt out west?
Potentially.
So go to GoHunt.com Insider, and they get the best research, the best data of anybody, bar none, for hunting the west. So just put that in your thing, and that's a shout out to you, Chris Porter and Brandon Evans and Brady and the whole crew. Lorenzo, you too. They're great guys, and I did a lot of writing for them. So I just give them a shout out whenever I can. So talking about shout outs, we're at the end of the show, the soft stop. So take a couple minutes. You get the mic, give some shout outs, and then we're going to close this thing.
All right, excellent. So I want to give a shout out to my three business partners, Derek, Jimmy, and Zach, with Timber Valley Outdoors for helping me get this off the ground. And I want to give a shout out to Alps Outdoors and Colby Smith, who have taken a chance and partnered with us, despite the fact that we're such a new company. And I'm really looking forward to working with them. They're a great company with great packs. So if you're looking for a new pack and your Western Hunt spruce, I certainly recommend checking them out. And that's it. That's all I have for shout outs. But I do want to thank you though for having me on. Very much enjoyed our conversation, and you, like I said before, you have a new follower who listens to your podcast.
Well, I appreciate that, and on behalf of thousands, over 130,000, I think I said that before, but I'm kind of proud of that number today on April 11th, 2017. 130,000 people decided that Whitetail Rendezvous is worthwhile to listen to. So if you're listening to this first time, subscribe, rate, and review, and hopefully I can have you on the show or whoever in the coming months. But Tyler Mieden with Timber Valley Outdoors, thank you for bringing in a great guest. And I love what you brought about small parcel hunting. So with that, sir, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Next episode, we got a special, and I know turkey season is going to be over by the time you hear it, but we're going to meet up with Garrett Rowe. Garrett is the owner of Heads Up Decoy, and he had a lot of turkey decoys out there. You've seen it on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook. His decoys perform. He's also got some for deer, for elk, for pronghorn, so he'd be a good guy to get a hold of. But what's this all about? It's not an infomercial. It's about Garrett Rowe and his techniques using these decoys. It sets him apart from anybody. Take a listen. I'm sure you're going to be surprised and go, oh my goodness, I can do that. Yes, you can.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.